If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one.
1,000 words leave not the same deep impression as does a single deed. I promise you this, when I embraced my differences and stopped trying to fit in, I ended up where I belonged. Integrity is doing what is right and truthful, and doing as you say you would do. A man with outward courage dares to die. A man with inner courage dares to live. Once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it.
For we can only know that we know nothing, and a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. I'm glad I see with my eyes, and not the pages I've read.
Rewards and punishments are the lowest form of education. Sometimes the sound of silence is the most deafening sound of all. When obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. You are the point of origin for everything in your world. You set the standard for yourself. To forgive is wisdom, to forget is genius and easier. Because it's true, it's a new world every heartbeat. Be sure what you want and be sure about yourself.
Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience.
But memory is like plaster. Peel it back, and you just might find a completely different picture. To me, there is nothing complicated about ordinary equality. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create.
Always be friendly. Always be kind, like the most beautiful flower that you can find. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood.
You need to find a way to live your life, that it doesn't make a mockery of your values. Worrying about losing is losing before you begin. Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. We judge ourselves by what we feel capable of doing, while others judge us by what we have already done. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. Being able to write becomes a kind of shield, a way of hiding, a way of too instantly transforming pain into honey. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. You may lie with your mouth, but with the mouth you make as you do, so you nonetheless tell the truth. The way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. Sometimes we tolerate unacceptable behavior from others because we don't know we deserve better. A man travels the world over, in search of what he needs, and returns home to find it. A daily dose of daydreaming heals the heart, soothes the soul, and strengthens the imagination. One of the most healing things you can do is recognize where in your life you are your own poison. Life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. The heart makes its choices without weighing the consequences. It doesn't look ahead to the lonely nights that follow.
Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. Deeds will not be less valiant because they are unpraised. Falling down is an accident. Staying down is a choice.
Stop comparing yourself to other people. Just choose to be happy and live your own life.
The serpent, if it wants to become the dragon, must eat itself.
Consuming all your income leads to financial insecurity, but earning to invest paves the way to financial freedom.
If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading.
Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness.
Our moral economy went bankrupt long before our financial one.
It's life. You don't figure it out. You just climb up on the beast and ride. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. There is no harm in taking a step forward if you are not standing on the mountain's brink. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced.
I do not believe in taking the right decision. I take a decision and make it right. It is hard work and great art to make life not so serious.
Life isn't supposed to play out the way we want, but the way it happens. Life has more imagination than we carry in our dreams.
I cannot trust a man to control others who cannot control himself.
A stone is heavy and the sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both.
Maybe everyone can live beyond what they're capable of.
Decide how badly you want it, then proceed accordingly. Actions defined a man. Words were a fart in the wind.
Life is a comedy to those who think, a tragedy to those who feel.
We have all been through something. It's how you create something out of it that matters.
Do not wait for the last judgment. It comes every day.
And therefore those skilled in war bring the enemy to the field of battle and are not brought there by him.
Other people's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Everybody gets so much information all day long that they lose their common sense. The worst part about being lied to is knowing you weren't worth the truth.
Respect is earned. Honesty is appreciated. Trust is gained. Loyalty is returned.
Control your thoughts, or your thoughts will control. The truth may not set you free, but used carefully, it can confuse the hell out of your enemies. Never break or fold. That's what it takes to be major. Definitions are the guardians of rationality, the first line of defense against the chaos of mental disintegration. Life isn't fair, but it's still good. Those who are wise won't be busy, and those who are too busy can't be wise. Everyone's time is limited. What matters most is to focus on what matters most. Play around. Dive into absurdity and write. Take chances. You will succeed if you're fearless of failure. We live in a dark and romantic and quite tragic world.
In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks.
We're here, and then we're gone. And it's not about the time we're here, but what we do with the time. Sometimes you lie to deceive people. Sometimes you lie because you need the lie to become the truth. He who writes well runs the civilization. Everyone else does the grunt work.
She will always wear her crown, regardless of the hate. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great.
It is not as much about who you used to be, as it is about who you choose to be.
One mistake does not have to rule a person's entire life.
Life might take you down different roads, but each of you gets to decide which one to take. If you change who you are to suit other people, you may end up dressed for the wrong occasion. Everything in this world happens with a purpose. You are born in this world with a purpose. You are chosen by purpose.
Being true to yourself is the greatest force to uncover the soul. Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. Sing your life. Any fool can think of words that rhyme. Do good, Live in the most positive and joyful way possible every day. True words are not fancy. Fancy words are not true. The good do not debate. Debaters are not good. I am not good at noticing when I'm happy, except in retrospect.
The difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits.
Maturity is when you stop complaining and making excuses and start making changes.
Snow floated down every once in a while, but it was frail snow, like a memory fading into the distance. Success goes to the ones who do. Get up, show up, throw up if you have to. Do it afraid, but do it no matter. Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty. The darkening of the world makes the irrationality of art rational, radically darkened art. Silence is the best answer to someone who doesn't value your words. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. Regardless of how black the page, he had always managed to turn it and move on to a new chapter in his life.
Too many people are too busy making a living to make a life.
People can cry much easier than they can change.
Start each day with a positive thought and a grateful heart. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Wisdom is having things right in your life and knowing why. I'll be happy if running and I can grow old together. The road of excess leads to the palace of wisdom.
Look for the good in every person and every situation. You'll almost always find it. Things don't happen for no reason. They happen to teach you something.
With one day's reading, a man may have the key in his hands.
It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer.
Authority without wisdom is like a heavy axe without an edge, fitter to bruise than polish.
Great things are done by a series of small things brought together.
Once you reject fear, you will become the perfect candidate to receive and reflect truth. From whichever side I start, I think I am in an old place where others have been before me.
But you don't have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
When we stop fighting against death, we are able to wake up to our lives. It was hard to live normally when you were constantly pretending you didn't see what was going on in front of your face. You choose how you feel, you choose what you do, you choose who you are. The triumph can't be had without the struggle.
Take care with the end as you do with the beginning.
This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that. Our battered suitcases were piled on the sidewalk again. We had longer ways to go, but no matter, the road is life.
Study the past if you want to define the future.
You can't let the truth bring out the worst and let it get the best of you. To avoid disappointment, expect nothing from nobody. No dirt can touch me like an ocean. Everything that comes to me becomes clean.
Respond intelligently, even to unintelligent treatment.
A flower does not use words to announce its arrival to the world. It just blooms. When I have won a victory, I do not repeat my tactics, but respond to circumstances in an infinite variety of ways. Gotta keep my head above water. Gotta make it through. And just when I thought things were starting to get better, everything had gone wrong again. Allow yourself to be a beginner. No one starts off being excellent. Try telling the truth for a whole week, and just see how much trouble you get in.
It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation.
The bird of paradise alights only upon the hand that does not grasp.
All paths are present, always, and we can but choose among them. I should have based my judgment upon deeds and not words.
What I'm looking for is not out there, it is in me. There's no way you can kill someone and get to the other side of the experience unchanged. The ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Never allow others to create your world, because if you do, they will always make it too small. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. It is not needful for our dreams to be very grand nor very big. It is only needful for our dreams to be very shiny. Fear is a probability by its own cause of actions. If we live by it, we lose all the possibilities of endurance. Concern yourself not with what you tried and failed in, but with what is still possible to do.
Unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth. This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
Feel free to argue with the man with a gun. Only make sure there are no bullets in it. The body is wiser than its inhabitants. The body is the soul. The body is God's messenger. Your life will not end with death. You are immortal. You are always there, and you always will be.
Leaders are limited by their vision rather than by their abilities.
Somebody has to start. Somebody has to step forward and do what is right, because it is right.
Man is an animal who has to live in a lie in order to live at all. What you do is what matters, not what you think or say or plan.
I'm very polite by nature. Even the voices in my head let each other finish their sentences. I found out that there weren't too many limitations if I did it my way.
But better to get hurt by the truth than comforted with a lie. Half of seeming clever is keeping your mouth shut at the right times. Just go with it, he thought. You won't figure out anything if you give in to fear.
If you believe in destiny and its special magic, do not ever feel that the pain you carry is going to become real. No matter how high your status in life is, you are inferior to death. For this, be humble.
No one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of others.
You must do the things you think you cannot do. Hate is nothing when weighed against survival. I don't know why we are here, but I'm pretty sure that it is not in order to enjoy ourselves.
Once you really know yourself, can't nobody tell you nothing about you?
It is better to walk in light than to dance in darkness. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. If you're still breathing, maybe it is not such a bad day after all.
As he learns the truth will automatically free him.
Embrace what life gives you, for even the unexpected can hold hidden blessings and opportunities. A man must wage war on himself to defeat his weaknesses and conquer his strengths.
Everything has to be all right. Maybe not today, but eventually.
We are supposed to call poison medicine, and we wonder why we're always sick. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. I always make sure that the world will prove me right. It gives me the freedom to contradict myself. Different languages, the same thoughts, servant to thoughts and their masters. Virtuous people often revenge themselves for the constraints to which they submit by the boredom which they inspire. When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. The highest activity a human being can attain is learning for understanding, because to understand is to be free.
Only knowledge can turn life's unbearableness into a weapon.
Never stop just because you feel defeated. The journey to the other side is attainable only after great suffering. The bounties of space, of infinite outwardness were three: empty heroics, low comedy, and pointless death. You pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too. That's a part of it. Even though our time in this life is temporary, if we live well enough, our legacy will last.
Too many doubts grow in the cracks of silence and separation.
A man must not be without shame, for the shame of being without shame is shamelessness indeed. If you want to tell the world who you are, then the world must first show what you do. Take risks, make bold decisions, and enjoy the journey of leaving your own unique mark in this world. There would be no society if living together depended upon understanding each other.
There are few reasons for telling the truth, but for lying, the number is infinite. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream.
The circumstances surrounding your birth is not as important as the opportunity to live life. We have not been rewarded to evolve over our failures, but punished never to make mistakes again. A humble man will always receive the best that others have to offer, for he recognizes the truth. Flaming enthusiasm, backed by horse sense and persistence, is the quality that most frequently makes for success. The boy and his heart had become friends, and neither was capable now of betraying the other. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all.
If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other.
Use the wings of the flying universe. Dream with open eyes. See in darkness. Having the courage to stand up for what we believe in is our greatest glory. Not winning every battle. Light must come from inside. You cannot ask the darkness to leave you. You must turn on the light.
Truth is what stands the test of experience.
This isn't life in the fast lane. It's life in the oncoming traffic. Some beautiful paths can't be discovered without getting lost.
Receive with simplicity everything that happens to you.
The abstraction of man gives rise to institutions that subsequently fail to function, for man is not abstract. Become a ghost, forget attention, just grow in private. It's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform.
One who has few must prepare against the enemy. One who has many makes the enemy prepare against him. Bloom as if you want to make the whole world beautiful.
The best fiction is far more true than any journalism. Do not let your grand ambitions stand in the way of small but meaningful accomplishments. All the papers that matter live off their advertisements, and the advertisers exercise an indirect censorship over news.
If you want to dine with perfection, you must toil with imperfection.
If you cannot find an element of humor in something, you're not taking it seriously enough. Dream no small dreams, for they have no power to move the hearts of men.
I do not like to repeat successes. I like to go on to other things.
Don't pretend to be better than you are. Live life at your own pace. A true friend doesn't have guts. They beat you up and later plead with you to beat them back. Some people are like clouds. When they disappear, it's a beautiful day.
When inequality takes root, a garden of problems flourishes.
I want to build to that mogul, legendary level. Prayer is the mortar that holds our house together.
Patience and improvement is the key to opening the door to progress. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened.
What is considered impossible is someone else's opinion. What is possible is my decision.
Let everything be allowed to do what it naturally does, so that its nature will be satisfied.
The value of a man should be seen in what he gives, and not in what he is able to receive.
Honest is how I want to look. The truth doesn't glitter and shine.
There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire. The other is to gain it.
If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand.
When a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. Denying yourself a life of personal freedom is denying yourself of a life worth living. Books have a way of finding their way into our lives, usually right when we need them the most.
Music in the soul can be heard by the universe.
We have no right to just stand by and watch them tarnish our tomorrow.
When you take control of your attitude, you take control of your life.
Never to suffer would never to have been blessed. If you want to know a person's true character, observe how he treats those who don't matter. When you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. My feet are shaking, but I'll do whatever it takes to take a step forward. To see what is in front of one's nose needs a constant struggle.
Old ways won't open new doors. Growth and advancement happen outside the comfort zone. Never curse a fall. The ground is where humility lives.
Never limit your view of life by any past experience. If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit. There's only so much emotional superglue in a person's soul that everything just stays broken. Focus your heart, mind, and soul on joy, and you'll find ultimate success and fulfillment.
You show me a capitalist, and I'll show you a bloodsucker.
Until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream.
Someone else's progress doesn't make yours any less.
No matter how many people give me advice, I am going to do what my heart tells me to do. Don't have hope that the situation will be better. Have hope that your Savior will be nearer.
Success involves going to where others believe is too far.
It was not the feeling of completeness I so needed, but the feeling of not being empty. Don't be bothered by the things you can't change. Instead, focus on how to make your life better.
Freedom is the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. The healing starts at the mountain, but you need the river to wash the pain away.
An over-examination of life can deter you from life itself. If thinking should precede acting, then acting must succeed thinking. I've never had anyone's approval, so I've learned to live without it. Life is an essay you yourself have to write, start to finish.
That's the thing about life. A lot of the time, it isn't easy at all. We just have to try to make the best of it. First it hurts, then it makes you stronger. Light is more important than the lantern, the palm more important than the notebook. The nobler sort of man emphasizes the good qualities in others and does not accentuate the bad. The inferior does. Biology gives you a brain. Life turns it into a mind. It can take years to mold a dream. It takes only a fraction of a second for it to be shattered. These inspired futures hold futuristic inspirations. The essence of life does not consist in the lushness of your possession, but in the richness of your heart.
I am thankful for all of those who said no to me. It's because of them I'm doing it myself.